How did Dior rise from the ruins of war to become the most powerful name in fashion? Why did one collection, the legendary New Look, shock society, delight women, and enrage critics all at once? How did a single house become the heartbeat of Parisian couture, adored by royalty, Hollywood stars, and the world's elite? What happened when Christian Dior, the genius behind it all, died suddenly at the height of fame? How did a young assistant, barely known, step into his shoes and carry the weight of a global empire? And how did Dior survive decades of turbulence, changing designers and cultural revolutions, yet remain a symbol of elegance? What secrets lie behind Dior's ability to reinvent itself decade after decade? From perfumes that became icons to catwalks that turned into theater, from scandal to triumph, Dior's story is not just about clothes. It's about power, identity, and the psychology of desire. This is the untold journey of Dior, the house that turned fashion into legend and continues to shape the way the world dreams of beauty. Paris, 1946. The city was still scarred by war, ration cards, bombed streets, and a fashion industry stripped of glamour. Women wore boxy suits, fabric was scarce, and elegance felt like a memory. Into this world stepped a quiet man with a radical vision, Christian Dior. Dior wasn't the obvious savior of fashion. He was reserved, almost shy, but he carried sketches that promised something audacious. When he opened his house on Avenue Montaigne, few expected what was about to happen. In 1947, Dior unveiled his first collection. The press called it the New Look. Cinched waists, rounded shoulders, skirts that blossomed with yards of fabric, a silhouette that celebrated femininity instead of hiding it. It was a shock. After years of austerity, Dior offered abundance. After years of survival, he offered beauty. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Women gasped, critics raged, and the world debated. Some saw it as liberation, others as extravagance in a time of scarcity. But one thing was undeniable. Dior had changed fashion overnight. The New Look wasn't just clothing. It was a statement that elegance could return, that Paris was still the capital of style, and that beauty could heal wounds left by war. From that moment, Dior was no longer just a designer. He was a phenomenon. The New Look had done more than launch a fashion trend. It had launched a revolution. Almost overnight, Christian Dior became the most celebrated couturier in the world. Paris, once battered by war, was again the capital of elegance, and Dior was its crown jewel. Celebrities, socialites, and royalty flocked to his atelier. Princesses wore Dior gowns to state banquets. Hollywood stars dazzled in his creations on red carpets, and society women considered Dior the ultimate symbol of taste. Even the press declared, "Dior saves Paris." But Dior wasn't content with couture alone. He expanded boldly, opening boutiques across Europe and America, and launching perfumes that became instant icons. Miss Dior, named for his sister Catherine, embodied the same femininity and romance as his dresses. Accessories, handbags, and ready-to-wear followed, making Dior not just a designer but a global brand. By the mid-1950s, Dior controlled nearly half of the French fashion market. His empire stretched from Paris to New York, from London to Caracas. No other designer had achieved such dominance so quickly. It was a golden age. Dior at the height of his power, shaping not only how women dressed but how they dreamed. By the mid-1950s, Dior was untouchable. His name meant glamour. His designs dictated the silhouette of an era, and his empire stretched across continents. Then, in 1957, the unthinkable happened. Christian Dior died suddenly at just 52 years old. The fashion world was stunned. Newspapers mourned the loss of the man who had saved Paris. Clients wondered if the house could survive without its founder. Inside Dior's atelier, silence fell, until the board made a daring decision. They appointed Dior's protégé, a 21-year-old assistant named Yves Saint Laurent, as artistic director. It was a gamble. Saint Laurent was young, shy, and virtually unknown outside the atelier. But his debut collection proved electrifying. He introduced slimmer lines, softer tailoring, and a youthful energy that spoke to a new generation. Critics hailed him as a prodigy, and Dior's legacy seemed secure. Yet Saint Laurent's tenure was short-lived. In 1960, he was drafted into military service, and the board replaced him with designer Marc Bohan. This marked the beginning of a new chapter. Dior had survived the death of its founder, but the house was entering decades of reinvention, searching for stability and identity in a rapidly changing world. The sudden loss of Christian Dior and the brief, brilliant tenure of Yves Saint Laurent left the house at a crossroads. Could Dior remain relevant without the genius who had defined its soul? The answer came through Marc Bohan, appointed in 1960. Bohan was not flamboyant like Saint Laurent, nor revolutionary like Dior. He was steady, refined, and deeply respectful of the brand's heritage. His vision was one of continuity and elegance. Under his leadership, Dior embraced a more understated style: slim silhouettes, clean lines, and timeless sophistication. This approach resonated with women who wanted luxury without excess, and it kept Dior firmly in the spotlight through the 1960s and 1970s. During this era, Dior expanded its reach beyond couture. Ready-to-wear collections, accessories, and perfumes became central pillars of the business. The brand's perfumes, Diarissimo, Eau Savage, Poison, were not just fragrances but cultural phenomena, each capturing the spirit of its time. Dior was no longer just a couture house. It was becoming a global lifestyle brand. Yet the fashion world was changing. The 1970s brought youth culture, rebellion, and new aesthetics that challenged traditional luxury. Dior sometimes struggled to keep pace. While Bohan's designs were admired for their refinement, critics argued they lacked daring. The house risked being seen as too conservative in an era of experimentation. By the 1980s, Dior needed fresh energy. That came with Gianfranco Ferré, appointed in 1989. Known as the architect of fashion, Ferré brought bold structure and Italian flair to Dior. His collections balanced grandeur with modernity, reintroducing drama to the brand while respecting its heritage. Under Ferré, Dior regained momentum, positioning itself once again as a leader in high fashion. This period of reinvention proved one thing: Dior could survive transitions, adapt to new eras, and remain relevant even without its founder. The house had moved from shock and uncertainty to stability and renewal, preparing the stage for its next great revival. By the late 1980s, Dior had regained stability under Gianfranco Ferré, but the fashion world was hungry for spectacle. The 1990s demanded boldness, and Dior found its answer in John Galliano, appointed creative director in 1996. Galliano was a showman. His collections were not just fashion, they were theater. Models stormed the runway in dramatic gowns inspired by history, fantasy, and exotic cultures. Every show was a performance, every dress a story. Dior became the headline act of Paris Fashion Week, and Galliano's vision catapulted the brand back into global dominance. Under Galliano, Dior embraced extravagance and risk. The brand's image shifted from refined elegance to daring innovation. Celebrities adored it, magazines splashed it across covers, and Dior once again became the house everyone talked about. At the same time, Dior's accessories and perfumes, from the iconic J'adore fragrance to the Lady Dior handbag, became cultural symbols, ensuring the brand's reach extended far beyond couture. But Galliano's reign was not without controversy. His theatrical genius sometimes clashed with the brand's heritage, and later scandals would force Dior to part ways with him. Yet his impact was undeniable. He had revived Dior, proving that the house could be both timeless and shockingly modern. After Galliano, Dior entered a new phase of refinement. Raf Simons took over in 2012, bringing minimalism and architectural precision. His collections stripped away excess, focusing on purity of line and color. Then came Maria Grazia Chiuri, Dior's first female creative director, who infused the brand with feminist messages, inclusivity, and a dialogue with contemporary culture. Through these transitions, Dior showed its greatest strength, the ability to reinvent itself without losing its identity. Before we arrive at Dior's present and future, let's pause to look at some of the most unusual and captivating details from its journey, the moments that surprised us, and the hidden stories that make Dior more than just a fashion house. The new look. Controversy. When Dior unveiled the new look in 1947, not everyone applauded. In fact, some women protested in the streets, angry at the extravagant use of fabric while rationing was still fresh in memory. Yet, despite the backlash, the silhouette became a symbol of hope and abundance. It's fascinating how one design could divide opinion so sharply, and still dominate fashion for decades. Dior's sister, Catherine. Few know that Christian Dior's beloved sister, Catherine, was a member of the French resistance during World War II. She was captured and sent to a concentration camp, but survived. Dior honored her bravery by naming his first perfume Miss Dior after her. This detail adds a deeply human layer to the brand's glamorous image. Behind the gowns, there was sacrifice and resilience. The Lady Dior bag and Princess Diana. In 1995, Dior gifted Princess Diana a handbag during a visit to Paris. She loved it so much she carried it everywhere, and soon the bag was renamed Lady Dior in her honor. What surprised us here is how a single moment of chance, a gift, created one of the most iconic accessories in fashion history. Galliano's theatrical madness. John Galliano's shows in the late 1990s and 2000s were pure theater. He drew inspiration from pirates, geishas, and historical queens, turning the runway into a stage. What struck us most is how Dior allowed such radical experimentation while still maintaining its luxury aura. It's rare for a heritage brand to embrace such risk. And yet it worked, making Dior the most talked about house of its time. Maria Grazia Chiuri's feminist revolution. In 2016, Dior appointed its first female creative director, Maria Grazia Chiuri. Her debut collection featured a t-shirt with the slogan, "We should all be feminists." It was shocking to see a couture house, once defined by ultra-feminine silhouettes, now leading conversations about gender equality. This moment showed us how Dior continues to surprise, by turning fashion into cultural dialogue. What surprises us most about Dior's history is its constant tension between tradition and revolution. Dior has always walked a fine line, honoring its founders' codes of elegance while daring to shock, provoke, and reinvent. From Catherine Dior's wartime courage to Galliano's theatrical excess, from Princess Diana's handbag to Chiuri's feminist slogans, the house has never been just about clothes. It has always been about stories, symbols, and the psychology of desire. And perhaps that is Dior's greatest secret. Every era of its history reflects not only fashion trends, but the deeper emotions of society. The new look was not just a silhouette. It was a collective sigh of relief after years of war. The perfumes were not just scents. They were bottled dreams, promises of identity and allure. Galliano's theatrical shows were not just couture. They were fantasies, escapism for a world-craving spectacle. Chiuri's feminist slogans were not just t-shirts. They were manifestos, turning the runway into a stage for cultural dialogue. What astonishes us is how Dior has always been able to mirror the psychology of its time. It has captured women's longing for beauty, society's hunger for reinvention, and the eternal human desire to express identity through what we wear. Dior's history is not linear. It is a dance between restraint and excess, between heritage and rebellion, between timeless elegance and daring provocation. This tension is what keeps Dior alive. It is why the brand continues to surprise us, decade after decade. Dior is not just a fashion house. It is a storyteller, a mirror, and a provocateur. Today, Dior stands as one of the crown jewels of the LVMH luxury empire, a global powerhouse that spans fashion, fragrance, accessories, and haute couture. What began as Christian Dior's daring vision in post-war Paris has become a brand that defines elegance across generations. The journey has been marked by triumphs and turbulence. The explosive success of the new look, the shock of Dior's sudden death, the youthful brilliance of Yves Saint Laurent, the steady hand of Marc Bohan, the architectural drama of Gianfranco Ferré, the theatrical genius of John Galliano, and the modern refinements of Raf Simons and Maria Grazia Chiuri. Each era brought reinvention, proving Dior's resilience and adaptability. Today, Dior is not only about couture gowns and perfumes. It is about identity, empowerment, and cultural dialogue. Under Chiuri's leadership, the house embraces feminist themes, sustainability, and inclusivity, while still honoring the timeless codes of elegance that Christian Dior established nearly 80 years ago. Looking ahead, Dior's prospects are clear: to balance heritage with innovation, to remain a symbol of luxury while speaking to the values of a new generation. Its future lies in sustainability, digital transformation, and continuing to inspire desire through artistry. Dior's story is more than fashion history. It is a saga of vision, reinvention, and survival, proof that true legends never fade. They evolve, endure, and continue to shape the way the world dreams of beauty.
Subscribe and like us. There will be many more stories about great companies here.